Hi everyone, very good morning to all. Am I audible, guys?
Yes.
All right, thanks, Prashna. Give me one moment. Yeah, we all set to start. All right, guys. So we are going to start this session. Let me share my screen, then we can just start doing discussion. Okay. All right, guys. So welcome you all in today's session, and we are going to start officially this Palo Alto course. And in this Palo Alto course, we are going to do a discussion about the Palo Alto firewall, how to configure, how to troubleshoot, and even how to analyze any problem is going to come in productions. Like you're working the knock and sock, so if you have to analyze the firewalls, any kind of the problem statement, so how you can analyze that as well. So the session is going to start from very scratch. We are going to talk from almost from zero. Let's suppose you don't have any knowledge and still you want to learn this Palo Alto firewall. So how you can understand this Palo Alto firewall and what is the prerequisite is going to be look like. So I'm going to talk about that as well. So once we start, right, today I'm going to talk about more basic firewall concept, but later on we'll discuss about why Palo Alto, what is the key fundamental of the Palo Alto firewall. Let's suppose you have any brand new firewall. So how you're going to configure that firewalls. So those things also we'll understand, and then gradually we go more deeper. Like we understand the zones, we do understand the policy, we understand the NAT, we understand that how to do licensing, how to do like software application process, how to build HA, how to do the advanced malware protections, how to do the any kind of the active directory integrations, how we can do the any kind of the SL decryptions, side to side VPN, client to side VPN, panorama. A lot of things we have to discuss. So definitely we'll cover one by one, but initially we'll just go through some basic understanding to just you guys have the good understanding about the Palo Alto firewall. So let's start. Myself Pankaj, as you guys are aware about me, and almost I have 16 plus year of experience, and I'm working with the Gwinnett Technology as a trainer and consultant. And Gwinnett is offering a lot of kind of training like Cisco, Versa, Zscaler, Palo Alto, Viptela, Azure, anything you are looking for a training, or anyone from your known is looking for a training, so you guys can refer them. They can reach out to any of the numbers, and also they can reach out to the websites, and also they can write an email. So definitely the team sitting in the backend office, they will reach out and they can guide right way to how to attend the classes, how to take the any kind of the lab access and all. All right, so moving further, guys. So we are going to target about the Palo Alto firewall. So Palo Alto nowadays become a next generation firewall. So earlier we have a firewall that is the legacy firewall, but now when you talk about the any new firewalls, not only Palo Alto, especially if you're talking about the any other vendors as well, like FortiGate as well. You're talking about the Checkpoint as well. You're talking about the Cisco Ability as well. Those all firewalls become a next generation firewall. So I will explain what is the next generation firewall and what is my legacy firewall. That also we have to understand what is the key difference between these two firewalls. What was the problem with the old firewall and how the next generation firewall is going to solve that problem. So that also we'll understand. But if I talk about the Palo Alto company, so Palo Alto is basically one of the cyber security company. Earlier, it was the completely network security, but now it's become the complete cyber security company, and it's based on the US, America, and it's headquartered in the Santa Carla, California. And the earlier the when the firewall was built, it was a completely just for the one of the firewall to just inspect the layer 2, layer 3, and layer 4 traffic. But now nowadays, Palo Alto have a lot of product. If I'm talking about a lot of product, so that means they have too much product. You can think about the SASE solutions. You can think about the any kind of the advanced firewall solutions. You can think about the any kind of the advanced monitoring solutions like XIAM is there, like extended security intelligence and automation management for the SOC, especially for the SecOps operations. Let's any kind of vulnerability is coming, any kind of cyber threat is coming. So how Cortex XDR is going to come in a picture, how endpoint reaction response is going to happen, any telemetry coming data from the different source. So even Palo Alto have the very good product, so they can just analyze on the real time, and based on the playbooks, based on the predefined any kind of the configurations and automation script, they can just identify where the which particular file is a malware file, virus file, and based on that they are going to take an actions. So Palo Alto did a lot of innovations in their company for the customers for the different kind of the problem. They understand the problem and then they develop the products as well. But we are not going to focus all the product. We are going to focus on the basically firewall product. I will show you the what all the product portfolio they have of the Palo Alto firewall. So we'll discuss about the only Palo Alto firewalls. So in earlier when the Palo Alto was invented, the founder of the Palo Alto was Nirjuk. He was the earlier co-founder of the Checkpoint firewall. So might be surprising, but yes, he was the one of the co-founder of the Checkpoint firewall, and he left the company and then he built the Palo Alto from scratch. So now it's become very popular nowadays in the Palo Alto firewall, and also work for the Netscreen technology. So basically, he have the very good exposure before building this Palo Alto firewall, and now it's become one of the giant in the market in terms of the firewall technology. Since 2005, it's in the market, and across the worldwide they have the
अरे बहन की भोसड़ी के
Furnace. Is it right language to talk to anyone? Let me put it in the. Okay, sorry guys. So might be he was on the some other unmute sections. All right, so uh, let's ignore this. I just put him the wedding room unless he just resolve his issue. Might be he's talking to someone else. So I was talking about like we have the different kind of the firewalls, and different kind of firewalls having a almost one objective. Means any vendor, if you're talking about that, not only the Palo Alto firewall, any objective you're talking about that, those all having a single one objective, that protect your network from the any cyber security attack. So if I'm talking about the cyber security attack, means any type of the known, unknown cyber security attack is going to be happen from the anywhere across the globe, that should be protected. So Palo Alto nowadays become very much popular. Similarly, FortiGate also become very much popular. And also if I talk about the checkpoint, checkpoint is also popular. But out of these three, right, if I talk about little bit, Palo Alto is almost leading everywhere. Means Palo Alto is leading everywhere. Why? Because of their security performance, their implementations, their management, their support, and also their cloud features. So they have a lot of kind of the good feature, except the cost. Cost is a little bit high because it's a brand, and brand always going to happen a very good cost if you compare with the any other vendors. So brand is always going to have the means always having the higher side of the money in terms of the cost. If you compare with the FortiGate firewall, FortiGate firewall is basically very good firewall. Still, they have the higher security performance. They have the in compared to Palo Alto, implementation is not like that, but it is good implementations. Management also okay. Support is not good for the FortiGate firewall. But if you compare with the Palo Alto and FortiGate, Palo Alto is always going to top the security performance. Value for money, FortiGate is going to win here. Why it is going to win? Because these are going to be low cost firewalls and these are the high cost firewalls. So
Less
that
expensive. That's why.
yeah, yeah. Thanks, Ujjwal. So that's the reason FortiGate having the very good market, especially for the Asia Pacific countries. If you talk about customer are acquiring a lot of FortiGate firewalls, lot of FortiGate firewall. But if you compare with the implementations, Implementation is also good, right? But Palo Alto have the great implementations, means they have the very good user interface UI, and the way of the configuration of the Palo Alto is always good if you compare with the FortiGate firewall. And also the management is also good. It's also very good, but it's the best, right? But support, if you talk about the support, Palo Alto tech is always going to better than any other vendors. Like you can just think about Cisco. Cisco supports, nobody is going to match. They have the very good documentations, they have very good tag across the globe, they have very good product engineers. So even if you have any issue, immediately the engineers are going to be available to support you. So similarly for that FortiGate and Palo Alto firewall, what is going to be happen? Palo Alto always having the upper hand in terms of the management and support. You can see here. And cloud feature, definitely they have the great features. So overall, Palo Alto and Checkpoint and the FortiGate, they are the leader in the market. And out of these leaders, if you compare overall features wise, Palo Alto always going to beat. But nowadays, if you recently see the trend of the Gartner Magic, sometime not Checkpoint, FortiGate is leading that. So they are the all leaders. Let me go in the next slide. So probably I'll show you. See here. So in this slide, this is quite old slide, but you can see these are leader in the market. Means we have the FortiGate, we have the Palo Alto network, we have the Checkpoint software technologies. But sometime you find Palo Alto in the top. Sometime you're going to find your FortiGate in the top. But Checkpoint always going to stay in the third position. Why like that? Like that because Checkpoint is a very good product and it's having a very good demand in the market. But when you go and you start working with Checkpoint, because I'm the instructor for the Checkpoint as well, and I know how to deploy Checkpoint, what is the three-tier architecture of the Checkpoint deployment, how to define the policy, NAT, and other SL inspection, HA, and everything. You'll find it's a bit complex as compared to the Palo Alto FortiGate. So it's having a very good product. It's having a very great features, but because of the complexity, people generally not go and opt the Checkpoint firewall, especially in the Asia Pacific region, Middle East region, you can European country. But if you go for the US region, you're going to find Checkpoint having the very good, customer base, and lot of Checkpoint products are keep selling years and years for the multiple of the customers. But overall, if you compare, Checkpoint is always going to be struggle in terms of the product selling in the market. But Palo Alto and FortiGate are always going to be your, very easy to find a product everywhere in the company. So any engineer who have the knowledge of the Palo Alto and FortiGate firewall, they are going to be get more opportunity in the market. Why they are going to get more opportunity? Because they have the more products available in the market, and if you have the more product, more engineer is going to be required to support that. So every organization might be going to hire a FortiGate engineer, Palo Alto engineer. Some organization also going to find the your Checkpoint engineer as well. So this is let's say you have the other vendors as well, like challenges. Cisco is still is struggling, Alibaba is still is struggling, Juniper is still is struggling, Huawei is still is struggling, Microsoft is still is struggling. So these are also having a firewalls, but they are not like a leaders in a market. They are okay, they have the good product, but still they are struggling to sell. They are struggling to make the leader quality in the market, having a very high visibility in the market. And also Barracuda, Hillstone Network, Signforce Technology. These are a lot of the visionary in the market. They are niche player. These are challengers in the market. As per the Gartners. So Gartner is basically who keep doing the research for the different kind of the product and different services, and they publish the white paper like which is the best vendor in the market. So anyone, if you're just looking for the any product acquisitions, they can just go and read out those papers and they can just buy. So let's suppose you're trying to buy any mobile phone, any kind of the a car. So you just go and do the research which car is best. You just compare the features, you just go and compare the reviews as well, and then after you go and acquire that product. Similarly, Gartner help to the customers. Hey customers, if you really want to understand who is the best product, and we rated these products based on their performance, based on their value for money, based on their implementation management and support. And then you can just go, and this is also esecurityplanet.com. You guys also search about that. These all databases is going to be available on that place as well. All right, so we'll discuss about why we need a firewall. So before I jump in the why we need a firewall, Let me talk about the Palo Alto product portfolio. That also we have to discuss about that. So there are a lot of product portfolio available in the Palo Alto, and you can see we have the Strata PS series Palo Alto product portfolio. We have the Prisma Access, we have the Cortex XDR. So these all we are not going to discuss in our session. What we are going to discuss, we are going to discuss about only one module, right? So if I'm talking, so this is the module we are going to discuss in our course. That is Strata PS series, Palo Alto series. In this, you are going to understand about the next generation firewall, AI and machine learning based next generation firewall. You are going to also understand what is my app ID, user ID, content ID, device ID. That is a physical firewall if you are going to deploy that. So even I have a physical firewall. I will demonstrate if you are going to log in the physical firewall, what is the key difference? Is there any key difference available or not? Even we are going to understand that level of concept as well. Similarly, if you are going to deploy the virtual firewall as well. So virtual firewall and physical firewall, trust me guys, you are never going to find any difference unless or until if I purposefully going to say this is the physical firewall or this is the virtual firewall, or you just go and check the model number. If you are not going to check the model number and if someone is not going to talk about this is the physical firewall and virtual firewall, it's very difficult to identify is it my actual physical firewall or virtual firewall. So I will show you how basically you can recognize and what is the similarity between this VM and physical firewall. They are going to work exactly same. Means whatever the feature available in the physical firewall, same 100% feature you are going to get in the VM firewall. No difference. Means everything you can do in the VM firewalls as well. So you don't have to worry about that. Like, is it going to work? I can do testing or not on my features. No, it's not like that. You can do everything. And similarly, we have the CN series firewalls. CN series like centralized next generation firewalls, right? Application ID, user ID, content ID, device ID. These all are going to be there as well. So based on that, also you can uh, it's a go and deploy that same kind of features like a central sorry container based. You can deploy the next generation firewall that is going to be the same as well, the cloud deployment as well. And Panorama is the Palo Alto central management tool. So this is the container is basically cloud. This is for the virtual any kind of the private cloud infrastructure like ASXi hypervisor, KVM. You can deploy that. And this is the physical firewall. So this product, they're talking about the user ID, app ID, content ID, device ID, but we are going to talk more than that. So I will just demonstrate what all we are going to talk in this particular session. Now, moving further, guys, we have the Prisma Access. You can see. So Prisma Access is your next level of the certifications. Any certification you want to do that, like Prisma Access, Cortex XDR, before you have to do this startup, means you have to do the Palo Alto firewall. If you are not doing the Palo Alto firewalls, then I believe you are going to always struggle because the DNA of this all product is based on the Palo Alto. So you must have the good knowledge of the any firewall solution, especially if you're looking for the career growth in the Palo Alto. So I would highly recommend go and learn the Palo Alto firewall first, and then after you can just go and start your journey like become a SASE engineer. What is SASE? SASE is a new way of handling the customer traffic when they want to interact with the internet or intranet. Anything they want to do that. Let's suppose traffic want to go on the internet or even the intranet or even the cloud. So how your SASE is going to handle those traffic? So SASE is basically secure access services. In that case, you don't have to deploy any physical firewall in your locations, but still you have the similar level of security. As you can see in this particular feature also, we have the firewall as a service, we have the secure web gateway, we have the zero trust network access, GTN network access. So this is something very advanced for you. But you can see firewall module is still there here. And in secure web gateway, you're going to understand the URL filtering, file control, right? You're going to see like how to capture any malicious activity, how to block, how to allow, how to do SL inspection. So those all features are also integrated with the SASE. But the only difference is Palo Alto is going to be an in-house solution. This is your cloud-based solution. So you just have to take the cloud-based feature subscriptions and you have to deploy these all features. One of the great examples for this, let me uh, draw here so you guys can understand. We have the major two vendors available in the market. So, or I can say three vendors for the SASE. One is a Zscaler, the second is a Prisma Access, and third is a Netspoke. There's other vendors also, like we have the Cato, we have, right? We can just check the Cato as well. But most popular vendor is the Zscaler. So they have a solution like GIA, Zscaler Internet Access, and they also have a solution like GPA and JDX. So these three solutions, if you are going to deploy, you do not require any hardware cost. Means you don't require any firewall for the any locations. Either you're working from office or you're working from anywhere. Anywhere means home, traveling, airport. I don't care, right? If sitting any place, but still you can access your infrastructure without any issue. So that is a GIA, GP, and DDS. These all three functionality going to give that how to connect internet-based traffic, how to connect the any private application, how to monitor. Similar way, Prisma Access, the same thing I'm going to slide and show you. Same we have the Netspoke, same we have the Cato. So these all three features means three, four vendors are going to offer the similar kind of the security, similar kind of the process, but these are the cloud native solution. If I'm taking the cloud native solutions, means customer doesn't have to own their infrastructures. They just have to take the subscriptions from the cloud providers, and then after the traffic is going to move forward to the cloud, and then they will go and handle everything, whatever your network requirement is going to be just required to secure an infrastructure. So similarly, you can see here in this Prisma Access also, you are going to find like secure access services, that is a SASE. Basically, we know it as SASE. They have the multiple component. So SASE is not a course. Very important, guys. It's not a course. It's a framework. SASE is a framework, and this SASE combine multiple products. Means if you become a SASE engineer, you have to become firewall expert, you have to become secure gateway expert, you have to become a GTN network expert, and also you have to learn about the SD-WAN. If you have that much knowledge, and also there is a CASB solution. CASB is a cloud access security broker. So this is your next step. Means once you complete this, then you move to next, right? And there is a very bright future available in the market. If you're becoming the Prisma Access engineer, you're going to get very high paid salary. Now, moving to the next step. These are the pure core product. You deploy that. But in these products, if I want to put intelligent, right? So how I can put the intelligent on that? Means monitoring, cyber security, right? How we can put on that? So for that, we have the one of the solution that is known as the Cortex XDR, Cortex XOR, right? Expense and Crispus. So these all are going to be there. Extended detection response, extended security orchestration and automation response. It's XOR, right? Attack surface management, cyber security services. So basically, these all has been replaced with the new course in the Palo Alto that is known as the Cortex XDR. This is a new solution they come in the market. So you're going to find that Cortex XDR. What is the Cortex XDR? That is the Cortex Extended Security Intelligence Automation Management. So this is going to be there, and based on that, you can do everything. Like you want to do the endpoint threat preventions, you can do that. Endpoint detection and response, you want to do that, you can do that. You want to analyze any behavioral based any kind of the things, you can analyze that. You want to manage the detection and response, that is also possible, you can do that. So anything you want to do that in the monitoring point of view, and you want to take an actions, this Cortex XGM is going to be help you that. So there is two modules. One is the Cortex XGM Analytics Engineers. There is one course, Another course is going to be Cortex XGM Engineer. So if you're planning for that, you can go for that also. But for that also, you require the Palo Alto knowledge. So if you want to skip this, you want to just work in the cyber security, forensic, you just want to trace the malware, you want to kill the malware, you just want to protect the attack surface, you want to analyze the indicator of compromise, behavior, there is a two terms you're going to find that IOC and BIOC. So indicator of compromise, behavioral indicator of compromise. These are the terms. I will explain how this is going to be look like. If later on, if we have a chance to discuss about the exam, then I will discuss. But I'm just giving an idea. So these all are going to be give the automation response for the any incident is coming, any attack is coming, and not for the one source. Not like your network device are sending any logs and based on that I have to monitor. No, it's not like that. Any source is coming means the data is coming from the any source. It could be, let me give the one of the uh, visual representations so you guys can understand. And these are the very important guys. If you want to become a SOC specialist, you want to become the very good cybersecurity expert, you should have this kind of knowledge. So mm, let me see if I can get that. I think somebody uploaded the video. It's not visible. Okay. So it's not visible, but you're going to get dashboard. In this dashboard, you're going to get the lot of kind of the telemetry data sources, either the cloud. And let me try to, yeah, this can be open, then I can show you. See, I'm not sure it's visible or not, but let me try to uh, just, yeah, you guys can see here why this is coming on in front of this one. So see, we have the lot of sources of data, and based on that data sources, if any attack is going to happen in your network, this XGM is going to be work automatic for you. So I'm not able to show you end to end, but definitely I'll find some image and I will try to show you. But this is going to be give the end to end automations and response for any kind of attack surface is going to happen. So this is what they are talking. The quote is XOR, Extended Security Orchestration Automation Response. This is also going to be for security means you are going to create a playbook. There are some predefined playbooks, and also you can create a custom playbook, and based on that playbooks, you are going to hunt the threats. Means any threats is coming, you can easily hunt them and you can kill them, or you can just create the incident, you can create the RCA, you can just keep as a as a repository on your database. If sometime in future is going to happen similar incident, then you can just take an action on that as well. So they can also attack surface management. They will discovery any asset, any kind of mitigation plan for that against that asset. That also can do that. And data breach response. Any data leak is going to happen. Cyber risk is going to happen. So this all is forensic. This Cortex XDR XGM course is basically forensic. You just think about you are become a cyber expert. So if you have a chance to become to cyber expert, you want to become a SOC analyst, you want to become a SOC engineer just for the hunting the threats. This is the good course for you. But for that also, my recommendations, you should not directly jump on this particular course. No, it's not like that. My recommendation to jumping these course also have the CCNA level of knowledge, the basic Linux knowledge, right? Basic, if you understand the CCNP optional, right? You can go that. You can go that, and then you can just go after that. You can go for the Cortex XGM course. That is my path for you. If you have a plan to become a Cortex engineer. If you want to stay in the firewall only, That's no need to go on this particular part. Clear, guys? I hope no questions. Any questions till here? Anyone have? Okay.
Like related to the Prisma access, like we have to first deal with this Palo Alto Firewall, next generation NG firewall. Then only we can jump on this Prisma access, right?
That is my recommendation because you have the firewall module also here. So if you not know the firewall basic understanding, you're going to
Hmm.
struggle. So my recommendations always, if you are trying to go for the any SASE solution, not only Prisma
Hmm.
access only, you can go for the GScaler. If you're going for the Cato Netscope, highly recommended to learn any firewall. If you are not going to learn any firewall, it is going to be always difficult to you to understand the key concept.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Joel. All right, so now let me, okay, we discuss this one. So now let's talk about certification, guys. If you're planning the certification, these are dead. These certifications are dead. You don't have to do these certifications. So what are the certifications? Let's suppose we complete this course and then we have to do certification. So what is certification roadmap and how we can start the certification journey? So let me go and explain as per the Palo Alto roadmap. So see, the Palo Alto become now a cyber security certification company. It's no more a network security company. It's become a cyber security company. So if you go for cyber security, you go for certifications. These are the three certifications you're going to find that. You have a certification network specialist, you have the security operationals, and the cloud security. So you have to design your track. I want to become a network security. I want to become a security operationals. I want to become a cloud security. So I discuss about all three modules in the my this slide. So let me, this is the cloud, this is the network, and this is the security operations. So if you go for the network security, so what is the prerequisite? The prerequisite, if you go here, you have to go cyber security apprentice exam and cyber security practitioner exam. Focus on it. When I'm going in network security, it's not me, it's Paul Alto saying that you have to understand cyber security apprentice and cyber security practitioners and see what you have to validate. Networking knowledge, endpoint security. So networking is the fundamentals. Cloud security operations means it you have to be good in the networking as well. And if you go to cybersecurity practitioner as well, so you are going to more in the network portfolio, network skills. But these two are the foundation. You can do the self learning if you really want to do that. And if you already done the CC and you have the basic network knowledge, basics like cloud knowledge, you can just ignore that, not needed. But if you done nothing, like you want to just start fresh, like you're the freshers and somebody is trying to do the Palo Alto certification journey from zero. So the recommendation for the network security is top and start with the apprentice or the practitioner. Even go for the cyber security, see, this is a security operations. Also, you have to do the apprentice and the practitioners. So this is the common for the network security and the security operationals as well. And if you go with the cloud security, you can see still you have to do the apprentice and the practitioners. So if you are from zero and you want to start your journey in the Palo Alto, these are the mandatory. That's why I'm keep saying you must have to do basic knowledge of the networking like CCNA. You've done the CCNP, that's the good for you. You have the Linux, means whatever knowledge you have a tech knowledge, that is going to do the value addition. If you don't have any knowledge, recommendation is just to go and learn this basic foundation. You just have to create the account on the Palo Alto network and you can do this free learning. Now after that, let me focus on the network security apprentice module, means the network security. And then once you complete this, you have the multiple options. You want to become a network security professionals, you want to become a network security analyst, you want to become a network next generation firewall engineer, SD-WAN engineer, or service edge engineer. So in that situation or architect, we are going to target not for network security professionals, not for the analyst. We are targeting next generation firewall engineer. So the target is, if you are just planning to deploy the firewalls troubleshoot the firewall, configure the firewall. This course is designed for you as per the Palo Alto. It's not going to include any kind of the SOC monitoring, not any kind of the extended any kind of automation tool like XDR and other automation tool, not SD-WAN, not SASE. It's just for the your networking. Means next generation firewall engineer for the network protections. So we are going to talk about this one. So if you want to become a certified for the Palo Alto firewall engineer, so there is no PCNSA, there is no PCNSE. That has been completely gone from the market, and you just have to do the next generation firewall engineer course. And how you can book that? You just have to book from the Pearson View. Pearson View is one of the portal where you can book the exam. And exam is going to be completely offline exam. There is no online exam. So if you have a dream to become Palo Alto, you have to book the center nearby your city, and you just have to go there. It's going to be a 90-minute exam, and passing score is 80%. So this is how you can book that. And exam fees is going to be $250. So you just go here, Palo Alto, NGFW, engineer exam fee, $250. So just you have to pay that much plus GST 18%. You can just include plus currency conversion if you're booking from the credit card. So all you have to, it is going to be almost 296 $297 US dollars. So you can just consider roughly 300 US dollar, which is going to in INR is like almost 27-28,000. Okay. Now, no other certification needed as of now, unless or until we are planning for the SD-WAN course as well, service security, I mean services course as well, or network security architect is the highest course. For security operations, you can see here, I was talking about XGM analyst, XDR analyst, XGM engineer, XDR engineer, and XOR engineer. These are the courses available. So you can go for that as well. That recommendation is go for the XGM engineer after completing the XGM analyst. So you can go for the XGM, that is the extended security intelligence and the automation management. This is the extended detection and response for the endpoint. So you can go for these all courses, and then if you have the automation, you want to get playbook and all, then you go for the XOR as well. So this is the operations. These two are quite good for the network security engineer, but also you have a plan to become a cloud engineer. Means you want to provide the security in the cloud, pure cloud. It's not like Prisma Access. It's not about the Zscaler. It's not about the native cloud for the network security. No, it's about the public cloud or private cloud. Means where your workload are hosted, like you're creating the containers, you're creating the any microservices, deploying the server like servers. How you're going to secure those infrastructure? For that, you have to create the cloud security. So cloud security is the different track. I have seen less people are doing these all tracks, but Palo Alto still just introduce this track for the customers who deploy their infrastructure in the cloud, and they want to leverage the cloud feature and cloud security feature from the Palo Alto. They can still leverage, and based on that, they can just get all integration for the security protections. So this is all exam, and we are focusing on the next generation firewall exam. So you can see we are going to target about the PAN-OS networking and device and configurations. I hope it is clear to everyone. All right. So any questions? Anyone have? All right. I will come on this particular binary firewall, but let me show what we are going to cover in our module. So guys, total we have a 12 modules, and these modules are going to be in depth. Means total 12 modules, and they have the sub module, and every sub module have the lot of discussion. So the training is going to be in such way. Initial for few modules, especially for this this module, it's completely theory. There is no any practical. Means if you're planning to learn this module, so you just have to understand theoretical concept. Then after we have the other modules as well. Let's suppose we are going to target about this initial configurations module, interface configurations, and the security policy. So what is going to happen in this module? You're going to understand the architecture of the Palo Alto firewall. What is the SP3 architecture? and why this SP3 architecture is going to be required. What is the packet flow and how the step-by-step packet is going to flow in the Palo Alto firewall. So this is what we are going to talk in the module 1. So it's completely theory and it's very important. If you go for the any interview guys and just for the Palo Alto, so the first question might be going to come from the this model. If it is not first question, but I can say top 5, top 10 question, this question 100% is going to ask. Can you explain the Palo Alto packet flow? Can you explain what is the SP3 architecture? How we can analyze the packet in slow path, right? How we can analyze the packet in the fast path. So these kind of the questions they are going to ask. What is the slow path? What is the fast path? What all checks are going to happen in the slow path, like routing, NAT, policy? What is the sequence is going to happen? What if there is no new connection available in the your firewall? What slow path is going to do? What fast path is going to do that? So it will ask the question, means the interviewer is going to ask the question which is going to be more relevant on the packet processing. So if you have the good understanding of the packet processing, you know how packet is going to process, then you can easily understand. But if you don't know how packet is going to process, you can not able to understand the end-to-end objective of this particular flow logic or single pass architecture. Similarly, we will see how to deploy any brand new firewall. Means let's suppose in front of you, I have given one of the new firewall, brand new firewall. So what is the first step? What is the first command you're going to do that to deploy this firewall? So that also we have to understand. Means where you connect the console cable, how you connect the console cable, how to take the CLI of the firewall, how to take the GUI of the firewall. This also we have to understand. And this understanding only going to come if you're going to just enjoy the live session on that. So I will demonstrate even for the physical firewall how to take console, even for the virtual firewall how to take console, and how we can do the step by step all this configuration. And then we'll discuss about the configuration management technique, how we can manage the configurations in the Palo Alto firewall, how to do licensing and software upgradations, how we can do the account administrations. Means let's suppose we have to define the RBAC, role based access. Means L1 should have the different access, L2 should have the different access, L3 should have a different access. So how these all are going to manage, how we can create those accounts, how we can integrate the forward the AD to just manage the administrations and also create the policy. We'll discuss later, but local account management, tech X integration, that all we understand. Licensing, software upgradation, definitely we understand. So these are the final validation is going to happen if you have a very new firewall. At least you can operate. At least you can log into the firewall. At least you can do the licensing to the firewall. At least you understand their configuration in the firewall. Still, you can do the any kind of software management. So these all are going to be happen, right? Now moving next, guys. Next module is going to be your interface configurations. Means if I have to do the interface configuration of the firewall, so every interface must have a zone. Zone is very important in the Palo Alto. That's why Palo Alto is known as a zone-based firewall. Palo Alto always known as zone-based firewall. So your zone is very critical component in the Palo Alto firewall. So we have to understand what is the meaning of zone, and then we have to deploy in the firewall in the different modes. Like you have to deploy in the layer 2 modes, we have to deploy in the layer 3 modes, we have to deploy in the virtual wire mode, we have to deploy in the tap mode. So also we have to analyze and understand what is the layer 2 mode, what is the layer 3 mode, and why it is needed to deploy this firewall in layer 2 and layer 3 mode, and how and when I need to deploy the firewall in the virtual wire mode and the tap mode as well, and how to get a sub interfaces, how to get a DSCP, and how to get the virtual routers. So sub interfaces, DSCP and virtual router. DSCP will do the real integrations, remote DSCP. Let's suppose your DSCP server is accessing a remote data center. Then how firewall is going to integrate that data centers DSCP server in the my local firewall. If I want to use my Palo Alto firewall as a DSCP server, then how it is going to also possible. So these things we'll cover. And virtual router is like the VRM. Means if you want to do any routing, like you want to do the BGP, you want to do OSPF, RIP, these all routing they support. Then how we can configure this routing? There's a virtual router is going to be key component for that. All right. So we'll discuss that. And then we'll discuss security policy. We'll discuss the policy administrator. What is the right policy sequence should be look like? How we can define the NAT. NAT is going to be four type of NAT: source NAT, destination NAT, user NAT, and dual NAT. So we have to understand all use cases. Even the source NAT, we have the three flavors. We have the static NAT, right? And also we have a dynamic NAT, and also we have a PAT. So four, that is translation. So these all three flavors also we have to understand. Destination NAT, why it's needed, and what is the behavior of destination NAT, that also we'll understand, and user NAT and dual NAT also will understand. So this is the pure policy administrator and the NAT management. We'll see in our module. Okay, so moving further, guys. So the next module, we having a uh, advanced feature of the Palo Alto Firewall. So if I'm talking the advanced feature of the Palo Alto Firewall, that means now we have to understand the next generation firewall. Previous one is all the basic feature of the Palo Alto Firewall. But when you talk about the NGFW, means NGFW firewall feature. So these are the NGFW firewall feature. These all module is going to make your firewall as a next generation firewall. That's why your Palo Alto become a next generation firewall. If these module are not going to be there, your firewall is never going to be become a next generation firewall. So what is that? So you can see application identifications. This is going to inspect your traffic based on the layer 7. Means any application, could be the Facebook applications, could be your WhatsApp applications, it can be your Instagram application, could be YouTube application, any applications. If you want to restrict the communication based on the applications, you can do other application identifications. Means how to create the application group, how to create the application filter, that all possible via the application identifications. And also, if you want to inspect the content, so any firewall, when they receive the packet, especially next generation firewall, they have to process a lot of things, and the packet have a lot of informations. Let me draw here. In this firewall, you're going to find a lot of packet informations. Just take an example. They have the MAC informations, they have the IP informations, they have the port numbers, they have the applications, they have the device ID, they have the any kind of the user ID, they have the URL, some other information, and then finally the payload. That is known as the content. That is known as the actual data. Anything you can call it water. So these things are basically, this can be again classified as a source MAC and DMAC. Okay. This can be classified as a source IP and destination IP, right? This can be classified as a source port, destination port. This is your any application, can be your Facebook application, Instagram application, Teams applications, O365 application, could be anything is going to be there. And this device can be any laptop, any OS, users, any users, AD integrations, any URL, some other information also. I will show you how these are going to look like. And finally, your payload. So nowadays, 90 plus, 90 plus percent attacks are happening to the payloads. Because if you're trying to go and access any website on the internet, you're going to interact with your data. Means any kind of the content. So those content might be mistaken, or might be unintentionally you download the antivirus, you download the any kind of the spyware activity, you can download any kind of the. Yes, Vivo, you want to say something? Hello, somebody joined the Vivo. Let you mute. So you're doing anything right on the internet, but internet having also a risk. Any malicious actor are basically a hacker, can do the spying activity of your network, can do the vulnerability attack on your network, can do the like any kind of the data filtering on network, can you do the DOS attack. So how we can protect? So for that, we have to enable the content ID. This is your real-time protection for the any kind of the attack which is going to happen throughout the network. Any virus attack is going to protect it. Any spying activity going to protect it. Any vulnerability attack going to protect it. URL filtering, data filtering, DOS, file blocking, and wildfire, zero data attack. So I will discuss this all in very detail. Not only theory, guys. Not my word. This all I will show 200% lab testing. Don't worry about that. So everything I will show in the lab, right? So you understand how to configure and how to basically test in any production environment. Is there any virus is happening, any malware happening? So if I show in the lab also, let me little bit go in the lab sections. Let me try to move on the lab part. So if I just open this, you can see in this particular infrastructure, we have the one of the master lab. This could be act as a master lab. We have the Linux machine who is capable to do any kind of the attack. If you want to do attack like DOS protection, you can do that. You want to do the vulnerability attack, you can do that. If I want to do the spying activity, I can initiate traffic and I can protect from the firewall. If any virus this PC you want to download, I can do that. Any kind of the file blocking I want to do that, I can do that. So attack I can do live from the Linux machine. Some protection I can just create the security policy and client are going to be communicated with any URL, any kind of the content, they are also going to be protected. So this is how your lab. So you guys are also going to get lab. Lab is going to be available for 2 months and you can use this lab 24 into 7. Means sitting in any location. You just have to log in with your username and password. You just have to log in this lab with the username and password, and then after you just enjoy the lab. So we'll discuss how to access this lab as well in the upcoming sessions. I'm just giving the brief idea. Now, after that, we have the last section. Sorry. Yeah. This is the last module. In this last module, what is going to happen? The very important topic in this module, guys, the VPNs. There are two VPN, side to side VPN. One is missing here, might be. That is a client to side VPN. Somehow it's deleted. This is the global protect. I will update this slide. So we'll do the 200% lab testing for this one as well. So if I'm saying 200%, that means the labs are 100% going to work. There's no if and but on the lab part. So VPN is going to be very important, and we learn how VPN is going to be created. What is my meaning of side to side VPN, right? What is the meaning of the client to side VPN? Means that is known as a RA VPN. RA is a remote access VPN. How it is going to configure and what is the prerequisite going to look like? What is the underlay connectivity? What is the overlay connectivity? And a step-by-step deployment of the VPNs. So we have proper lab. I will deploy these all VPNs as well. At the same time, if I want to protect the or control the traffic based on the user ID, not IP, I don't care about the IP. I want to leverage the AD users. AD user means whenever going to configure the AD, your LDAP protocol is going to run there in the AD and they create the user. Means you create the group user for the any users. Every company have the users because when you're going to log in the any kind of the firewalls, any kind of devices, even the any kind of laptop as well. Not firewall is correct. Firewall might be you can integrate, then only you can do that. But any laptop, any desktop, any Windows server. So your AD account is very important. So that AD is going to get it in the AD server, and that must be integrated with your firewall. Then it is going to map your all user to the IP address, and all you can create the user ID agent, and based on that you can create the policy. So in firewall, not only you can create the policy based on the IP. If I go in the firewalls, let me show you. You cannot only just create the IP based communication. You can just go here and let me show you. If I go here and you'll check that. See, so if I go and you check that, in the policy section, we not have the just only option to map the source IP. You can say source user. Source user is basically AD based integration. If AD is integrated, my all source user groups are going to be visible here. And based on the group HR, IT, I can create the policy. Any IP they are coming. I don't care about the IP. If any IP they are coming, if their group is going to map here, based on that group, I can just allow or deny because if their group having their name. So based on the name and based on the group, we can just simply allow or deny. So we can integrate that also. So for integration of AD, you have to do a lot of configuration. You have to go with the LDAP configuration, and here you have to integrate the AD. Means you have to give the server LDAP server name, the port number, base DN, bind DN. You have to select the Igniter protocols. This is a dedicated session we'll cover in this particular module. So we'll discuss about the user ID and all. Side-to-side VPN, client-to-side VPN, as mentioned that. And then we have the management and reporting, means how to pull the report, how to get the logs, how to prepare the report, how you want to schedule the report. Let's suppose you want to schedule the report for the email ID address, how it can be possible, and how to deploy the panorama. Panorama deployment will understand the pre-rule configuration, post-rule configuration, step by step. What is the structure way of deploying the panorama? What is the prerequisite of deploying the panorama? How panorama dashboard is going to look like? How to create the template? How to create the device group? How to get the policies, how to do the licensing, software, everything. I will talk about the Panorama. So Panorama is a tool, central management tool. So you guys will understand how the central management tool is going to look like. And the last but not least, this is going to be your HA deployment. HA deployment is basically how my firewall is going to give the redundancy. Means if I have one single firewall, PA01, and everything is going on the internet, right? Via this is the user. What if this firewall is going to be down? Down means down. There is no other way to go. Means your traffic is not going on the internet. So you have to deploy another firewall like PA02 here, and you should have the connection via the switch, and also you have the connection via the switch. So in case this is going to be down for any region, this is going to be down for any region, still traffic is going via this one. So you have the HA, that is known as the high availability. In this, we have the two mode, active and active passive. So active passive is more popular, active is less popular, but we'll do the both deployment and we'll understand what is the key difference between these two uh, firewall deployment method. And this is what 12 module we are going to cover. Okay, so now I will leave the audience. Guys, questions, anything you have, please ask. It's a question time. Because I discussed a lot, right, in last 1 hour. And I really apologize. Somebody have some use bad language, might be unintentionally. He was talking to someone, but he was unmute. So don't care about that. Sometimes it's happened in the virtual meetings, so you can ignore that. I remove from his class. Any questions anyone have? iPhone, what's your name? You trying to speak something? Can you tell me your name?
May I know what will be the duration for this course?
Okay, so duration for this course, right? That's a very good question. So this is going to be Monday to Friday. Okay.
Okay.
So sorry, Monday to Friday. So we have a target to complete within 45 days,
Okay.
not more than that. Okay. Because it's going to take 6 week or
Mm-hmm.
sometime it's like even 5 week we can complete. Because
Hmm.
30 hours course is going to be there. So we are going to daily have a class, then it's going to be 5 week. Because sometimes not only 1 hour, even more than some time you're going to extend, like sometimes 60 minutes, sometimes 70 minutes, 75 minutes as well, based on a discussion, right?
Discussion, yeah. So
So
every
it
day,
is going,
60 minutes will be the class session.
yes, 60 minutes is the class timing, that 60 minutes only 1 hour.
Hmm.
But sometime you have a question, doubt, some kind of the lab
Yeah, that
issue.
can
So
extend to 10-15
yes,
minutes more.
10, 15 minutes, but it shouldn't be 60 minutes. So the idea is we can finish in the 5 weeks, or we can take 1 week buffer. 6 week you can just take in it. Because sometimes we take leaves and all, so it's go up to 1.5 month.
Any prior knowledge is needed before like going through these topics, like
I would
basic
say
networking.
just basic networking, CCNA if you have, I believe
Hmm.
it's a good for you. Just try to understand static routing, VLAN, that's all. DSCP, DNS, So that's all. But the rest are going to be new for everyone. Everything is going to be new for everyone. So you don't have to worry about that.
Okay.
All right. So any other questions, guys? Last chance. If no, I believe we are not time, and I will not take too much time. We'll meet again in the next class. Most probably today is the Thursday. Tomorrow we'll have a class. So you guys are going to get a Zoom link for tomorrow class.
Sure.
All right. Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone. See you again tomorrow. Bye. Take care.